Seeker. Written by Suzana Thompson. Performed by Heather Firth. Chapter 23. Silas tries to kiss me again a week after the first time. We are talking in the hall at school about the GED, which he has just found out about from one of his classmates this morning. I can graduate this year, he tells me. You wouldn't actually be graduating, I explain. It's not the same as getting your diploma. It's for people who drop out of high school, and you shouldn't do that. It's the equivalent of a high school diploma, he counters. It's the high school equivalency. I know, I tell him as I cut him off. But it's not the same as graduating with your class. I won't be graduating with my class regardless of when I do, he says. They are graduating this year. Then you'll graduate with the next class, I state carelessly. What's the rush? I want to work and provide for you so that we can get married, he replies. I want to kiss you again. He leans in to do exactly that. I back up into the guy behind me as I move out of Silas's reach. Sorry, I call out with a quick glance at him before returning my attention to Silas. We should talk about this later. He's watching me with an entranced gaze I've never seen before. I dream about kissing you, about more than kissing you. The dreams are very arousing. The guy behind me laughs. Wet dreams? Silas looks past me toward him. There was no water in the dreams, he answers seriously. The guy laughs again. You don't know what wet dreams are? It's when you... I quickly interrupt him before this gets even more embarrassing. We have to go. I grab Silas's arm and pull him down the hall with me. I wanted to hear about the wet dreams, he protests loud enough to attract attention from several people. I'll tell you about mine, one guy shouts. Miss Hewitt had me stay after school. Hey, what about me? A girl demands. You were there too, he assures her. She shrieks and laughs, and then their voices fade as we turn the corner into another corridor. I'm wondering if that pervert really had a sex dream about Miss Hewitt. She is a pretty student teacher, but she is in her 20s. So is Jenny, I remember, thinking about Silas's neighbor. Then I realized that Silas had a sex dream about me. Sweet, innocent Silas. I can barely wrap my mind around it, and I look at him in dismay. Where are we going? He questions me. I realize that I don't know that either, since I was just fleeing the wet dream conversation. I guess we should get to class. Mine is upstairs, he informs me. May I have a kiss first? This time I place a hand against his chest to stop him as he leans toward me. That was just for New Year's. He pulls back to regard me questioningly. You don't want to kiss me? Jenny wanted to kiss me again. I frown in displeasure at this news. She's too old for you. You're not, he says. Technically, you're too old for me, I joke as I stall for time. You know, because you've been around since the beginning of time. He ponders my statement seriously. I'm not sure if I've been here since the beginning of time. Perhaps since the beginning of man. While it's true that I'm old, this mortal body is young. I can conceive children with you after we marry and... Stop, I plead, unable to listen to any more. I'm sorry, Silas, but that's just not going to happen. We're not going to get married and have kids. I don't like you that way. Kissing you was a mistake, and I'm sorry I made you think that we were getting together, but we're not. He looks deeply disappointed after I finish, and I feel so bad that I don't walk away after the bell rings. Are you okay? I ask. I really thought I was here for you, he replies despondently. I don't know what my purpose is now. None of us know that, I tell him. We figure things out as we go. I have to ask God what my purpose is, he states emphatically, and strides away from me. I let him go and walk to my own class as I hope that he'll get over his disappointment soon. He does sound much better when he calls me later that day. God told me what to do. He actually talked to you? I question in dubious belief. You heard his voice? No, but he answered me when I asked him about my purpose. I felt the need to read the Bible, and I opened it to that exact page, and my eyes were drawn to that exact verse. Go ye into all the world, and preach the gospel to every creature. Abel was right. I'm going to be a priest, Silas declares. A priest? I ask in dismay. No, why would you pick that? It's so boring. There are lots of better jobs than that. It's my purpose, he says with conviction. That's crazy, I exclaim rudely. You were just talking about wet dreams, and now you're going to be a priest? Guess what? Priests aren't even allowed to have sex. I know, he tells me calmly. You said that you're not going to marry me, so sex isn't a concern for me. But you said that you want to get married and have kids, I remind him. You don't have to marry me. You'll meet lots of other girls. Don't give up just because one person said no. I've found a higher purpose than getting married, he assures me. I'm going to get my GED and go to seminary school. You don't have to do this, I argue. It's just like Tara dropping out of school because you wouldn't marry her. You're overreacting. I'm not, he states. It doesn't have anything to do with you, Mila. God has called me. No matter what I say, Silas won't change his mind. I'm very frustrated with him by the time we get off the phone, and I even resort to calling out for Abel. Do something, I plead. He's going to ruin his life if you don't stop him. If Abel hears me, he doesn't respond, nor does he appear to me, and I become upset with him too. Why did you put that stupid idea in his head? He could have been anything he wanted to be. I think about how smart Silas is with his knowledge of languages and world history. Sure, he's clueless about certain aspects of modern life, but he's a fast learner. He shouldn't be dropping out of high school or life. He just started living. I decide to ask the school counselor to talk to him about his career options. Maybe she can convince him to change his mind about becoming a priest. As I'm walking to our office, the guy I bumped into yesterday approaches me. I recall now that his name is Ryan, because I've heard it in the classes we've shared. He's in one of my classes this year, too. So, does your boyfriend now know what wet dreams are? Ryan asks me. He's not my boyfriend, I reply, wishing that nobody would ever mention wet dreams again. He's not? Ryan questions. Then he shouldn't be telling you about those dreams. I notice his dimples when he smiles, and I respond with a smile of my own. He really shouldn't. Want me to beat him up? He inquires in a mild tone. That lets me know he's not serious about the offer. No, I answer. Silas is harmless. Ryan flashes me that smile, and it looks flirtatious now. I'm harmless too, so you should go out with me. I flirt back as I gaze into his hazel eyes. Should I? Yeah, he says. This weekend. Dinner and dancing. Well, maybe not dancing, but dinner. Definitely dinner. Dancing would have been too dangerous, I remark playfully. But dinner is harmless enough. I guess I'll go out to dinner with you. I'm rewarded with those cute dimples again. Then I guess I'm gonna need your number. My thoughts are light and insubstantial as frothy bubbles. Until I get to class and remember that I didn't talk to the counselor about Silas. He's really not my problem, and I should be content to let him drift out of my life. But I just can't seem to do that. Maybe it's because I've already lost so many people, but letting him go doesn't feel right to me. God gave him to me, and now I want to keep him, although I don't know why. I'm confused by my own selfish feelings. I should be happy that Silas has figured out what he wants to do with his life, and relieved that he's given up on the idea of marrying me. It should feel like a weight has been lifted from me. But instead, I'm left feeling dissatisfied for no reason. It doesn't even make any sense, since I've been trying to get rid of Silas all this time. Haven't I? I remember him saying that I was seeking him, but I wasn't. I would have known if I was seeking him, wouldn't I? Why would I be seeking him anyway? There seems to be no purpose to it. I don't want to marry him, and there appears to be no other reason why I would want him. Maybe I'm just disappointed that this has nothing to do with me. Silas made me feel like I was important enough for him to become mortal for me. Now it turns out that it wasn't about me at all. I admit that's a bit of a letdown. Despite realizing all of that, I'm still reluctant to give up Silas to his newly revealed destiny. I still feel like he's mine.